Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Pretty and Polished. Today we are going to be doing a Mother's Day, like easy, fresh, dewy makeup look. It's going to be kind of similar to some of my other spring looks, but it's going to be perfect for a Mother's Day brunch or anything you might be going and doing for your Mother's Day today. So I've already moisturized my skin, already put some SPF on. I am going to just put a little bit of eyeshadow primer potion on, the Urban Decay, just to get started before I go in, and I put a little bit of a moisturizer on my eyes, so I just want to make sure that's all blended in first so that my eyeshadow is going to stay in place. This is going to be a pretty simple eyeshadow look. I'm going to take a little bit of that underneath my eyes as well, just so that makeup all really stays in place. I'm then going to go in with my little Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy palette. This is just like a smaller size that I'd gotten when I think it was when I picked up a foundation. I'm just going to take this lighter like brown champagne shade and kind of go all over my eye with that. And my brushes are just a tiny bit damp still. I cleaned all my brushes last night, which always is such a nice feeling, using them all nice and clean. So I'm just gonna kind of work that pretty much all the way up until almost my brow bone. So really we're going all the way across the lid with that, and I'm just using a Sigma E60 large shader brush for that. Really get a nice coat on there, and as you can see, that's a really nice like shimmery color. Okay, then just to add a little bit of definition, I'm going in next with that darker brown shade. I'm taking a Sigma E70 medium angled brush, and I'm just going to work that into my crease just to kind of create some definition. We're not going for a really dramatic eye look, we're just going for something kind of softer. And I've actually been kind of going in with this kind of a look for when I'm reporting on camera recently, because it's not like so full on you know, makeup that I would do necessarily for anchoring, because the lights aren't quite as harsh when you're just out in the field. There's just the light on your camera, but it does add some definition. Just working that back in a windshield wiper motion, just working it into the crease. I'm going to slightly bring that up onto the brow bone. Okay, now there's like a little bit of a dark purple shade in here, but I'm actually going to use this Meet Matrimony, haha, very funny, in the color Marriage, and it's just a small, just an individual sized eyeshadow. I think I got it in one of my Ipsy bags. It's just a nice cranberry color, and it kind of matches my dress that I have on, so I actually just wanted to use this color. Let's work a little bit of that just into the outer corner, just to add a little bit of color, because this is like a really dark color. And you can kind of, you know, pick a color that matches with your outfit, or you can just skip this step if you don't want to have anything too defined. Just in a small V motion. And then I'm going to take my Sigma E40 tapered blending brush and just kind of work that into the crease, just so it's nice and blended. And then just to add a little bit more of that brightness back onto the actual lid, I'm going to go back in with that champagne color on a Sigma E55 eye shading brush and just kind of pack that onto the lid, just to keep the lid a little bit more bright. And then you can put this makeup to the side. We're going to put a little bit under our eyes a little bit later, but first we're going to go in with our Sephora Waterproof Water Eyeliner in number 3, and just very quickly line our waterline just to keep that nice and bright. And then I'm going to take my Master Kohl Maybelline liner and just put a small line on my top, just on my top line, and I'm going to slightly smudge it out so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just holding my eye slightly taut, just because this is such a fat tip that it's hard to get a precise line at all. I'm just taking my Sigma E65 medium, small angle brush, just gonna slightly smudge that out, just so it's a little bit more of a softer look. Okay, moving on to the skin. A new product I'm trying today is the NYX Angel Veil. I've heard this is a really good dupe for the Hourglass Mineral Veil, so we will see how it works. It's described as a skin perfecting primer. Treat your skin to this ultra velvety, oil-free primer. Feels lighter than a cloud, leaves skin looking and feeling divine. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of that on my fingers and just work that across the skin. It does feel very soft, and it does kind of feel like a little bit more of that, like a silicone primer, like Professional by Benefit, or any one of those kind of primers that kind of leaves your skin feeling really mattified. Just putting that gently on the skin. Okay, for the skin, I'm going for a medium coverage foundation, the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. You can go in with, whatever your favorite foundation is. I would suggest putting it on with a beauty blender, which is what I'm going to do today, to kind of give you that really airbrushed finish. And you know what, this might be slightly too dark for me right now. And take your damp beauty blender and just start working that in. I may need to work, oh, okay, now it's kind of disappearing into the skin. So I'm saying I might need to take a slightly darker. I mean a slightly lighter color, but this seems to be kind of blending in. And make sure you're really pushing that into the skin. So this year, I'm not going to be home, unfortunately, on Mother's Day, since I work over the weekends, but I am going to be able to go home on Monday, and I'll be home for actually a few days for my younger sister's graduation from college. So it should be a lot of fun and get to see all the family and my siblings. And I'm going to be doing a graduation look actually for next week, since I know a lot of you are graduating. Make sure to just take that onto the neck a bit. Okay, for concealer, I have the NYX Gotcha Covered in the color Ivory. This one is slightly a little bit too light for me, but I want to use it up before I go get another one because it's a really nice formula. I'm just putting it a little bit on the back of my hand and then taking it on a concealer brush and kind of painting it where I want it before I go in and blend it with the other side of my beauty blender. You don't have to go too crazy with concealer. I would suggest not contouring for a look like this just because it is going to be a little bit more natural, even though we are putting on quite a bit of makeup. Just concealing and highlighting kind of helps brighten the look. So just taking the other end of my beauty blender and working that into the skin. Okay, so once that is all really well worked into the skin, we're going to go in and set it. I have the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and it's in the color, well, it's a translucent light. I'd heard really good things about this setting powder, even better than the Laura Mercier, so I've been trying it, and I actually feel like it does maybe stay for me a tiny bit better than the Laura Mercier, and I don't know whether it's because maybe it has that light, kind of slight color in it, or whether it's just the formula. And I'm taking that on a Real Techniques setting brush. Okay, once that's all worked in and you feel like the skin is mattified enough and set into place, I'm then going to go in with a little bit of just a powder, a contour. I'm using the Ciate Bamboo Bronzer. It's like a really nice, like a little bit of a cooler tone bronzer. And I'm just gonna take my Sigma E40 tapered blending brush to kind of put that in place, and then we'll blend it out. And so instead of contouring just like straight across the top or across the top of my forehead, I've been trying this technique that kind of, since I have a rounder face that supposedly kind of helps narrow the face, kind of going more in a triangle motion to kind of help slim in the face. I feel like it's, hasn't made a huge difference, but I like it a little bit better than just the traditional across the top of the forehead. I don't have a particularly like super large forehead or anything though, so. And just a little bit down each side of the nose. And then I'm just gonna brush that, or blend that all in with a large Sephora face foundation brush. Okay, next I'm gonna take the blush I've been using recently, the Pacifica Natural Minerals Wildrose. I just feel like this color is just so perfect. Maybe, in the summer I'll go back to kind of those lighter, peachy Barbie pink colors. But this kind of slightly more purpley rose color, I just feel like it mimics a natural flush better. or maybe it just complements my skin tone better. I'm then going to go back in for under the eyes. First, I'm going to go in with the NYX Baked Shadow in BSH 27 Easy Rider. It's just a white shadow, and I'm just going to take a small tapered blending brush and just put a little bit of that to brighten up my inner corner. And then I'm going to take a Sigma E30 pencil brush and go back into my Estee Lauder small palette. And I'm going to take that darker brown shade here and just take that under the eyes. Okay, and a product that I just picked up yesterday at Ulta is the NYX Duo Chrome Highlighter. It's in Snow Rose, so it has a slightly pink undertone to it. And I'm just going to take a big fluffy, like super fat eyeshadow brush and just kind of brush on the areas I would normally highlight. And I kind of swatched this in the store and it looked so pretty. I've been looking for a new highlighter. It is really nice. It's a little bit more subtle. But I would definitely use even just a little bit of highlighter for a look like this because you do want it really glowy and fresh. Ooh, that looks really nice. Ooh, it's a little more pink than I was expecting. You know, before I forget, I do want to put a little bit of the white eyeshadow from the Estee Lauder little eyeshadow palette and put just a little bit of that white right underneath the brow bone right before we go into our brows. Okay, I am really, really happy with that NYX highlighter though. Okay, now for brows, my wonderful friend Cindy gave me the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and it's in the color medium brown. I probably could even go a shade darker, but I'd always use just like, in my last couple of videos, I don't even know where I put it, I had another kind of like a Brow Wiz, but the spoolie on these Anastasia ones are so amazing, so I'm really glad that I'm using this now instead. So I'm just going to gently fill in my brows, nothing too dark. It almost probably is better that this is a slightly lighter color because I don't want any, harsh, super defined brows. Okay, so once you've kind of gently filled them in and then really, really brushed it through with that spoolie to really blend it out, I'm then just going to set them in place with some of the Gimme Brow in number 3. And I think I'm almost out of this one. I just picked up a new one, so I don't go in with that. New one here. All right. And not too heavy, just to really set them in place and kind of make sure the color is all uniform. Okay, and then once you're happy with your brows, we can go in with some mascara. I just picked up the full size of the Smashbox X-rated mascara. It's kind of this like cool, twisty, funky container here. I got the sample in an Ipsy bag and just loved it so much, so I had to pick up the full size. So I'm just going to kind of generously coat my lashes. If you really want to go in with any falsies, you definitely can. But again, since this is a softer look, I would just suggest going in with your favorite mascara. And then to set all that makeup in place, I'm using the Urban Decay DeSlick setting spray across the skin. Okay, and then while that is drying on the skin, I'm going to try this new NYX Liquid Suede. It's basically just like a cream or liquid lipstick. It's in the color 04. I just picked up this one. I've never used any of the NYX liquid lipsticks before, so we'll see how I like it. I did put some, like actually just Vaseline on my lips before I got started, and I think that's probably soaked in by now. My lips feel pretty dry, so I'm just going to go ahead in with that. It's kind of like an angled little applicator here. I actually really like this applicator. I feel like it was easier to put lipstick on with this one than the other one, so I actually really like this. And while my lips are drying down, I'm just going to put a little bit of my Makeup Forever HD pressed powder and just put a little bit of that across the skin just to really set my makeup in place and have a nice matte finish. Okay, so that is it. This is the completed Mother's Day look. Whether you're maybe going to church in the morning, going to brunch, going to lunch, whatever it is, this look will definitely make your makeup stay in place all day. A really fresh, pretty look that will look great in pictures. So I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. Hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. See you next week. Please like and subscribe.